Gino checking back in for another video today, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys through my full day of eating while I'm on a lean bulk. Now, in case you guys are new to my channel, a lean bulk is something that I personally always like to do instead of a normal traditional bulk where you gain a lot of body fat. So this is my goal, to minimize fat gain while I'm still focusing on building some lean muscle mass and strength in the gym. Now, I've been back on the lean bulk for about 2 months right now, which I started after my bodybuilding show on the 20th of April, where I placed first in the junior bodybuilding class in the INBA. Now, for that show I prepped for 17 weeks, so I was basically in a deficit for around a little bit over 4 months. So now I'm finally back in a caloric surplus to make some actual gains again, and I'm going to be taking you guys through my entire day of eating. Now, the macros that I'm striving to hit are 425 up to 450 grams of carbs, 70 to 80 grams of fat, and 190 up to 200 grams of protein. I pretty much divide that into 4 meals per day. Now, I personally really like to spread out my protein feedings throughout the day in order to maximize the spike in muscle protein synthesis after your workout, so that you take full advantage of the recovering and growing process of your muscles after a workout, instead of what I normally like to do, which is intermittent fast. So quick disclaimer, I'm not fasting anymore. I'm simply waking up, having breakfast, and then moving on with my day, and then spreading out my caloric intake over 4 big meals. But without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the full day of eating lean bulk style. Right guys, so it's 9:24 a.m. at the moment, and it's time to get my breakfast in. Now, normally if you've been watching my prep series where I showed you guys my full day of eating while on a cut, you would know that I like to fast till around 12 p.m. to ensure that I'm not hungry later on in the day. But now that I'm bulking, I like to just wake up, do my thing, whether that be go train a client or do some emails, do some coaching work on the computer or edit the video or whatever. But right now I really like to just wake up, get my breakfast in, and get a head start of the day. But still, one of my favorite things in the world is still just eating breakfast. Literally, I've been talking to this with a couple of friends of mine. I've been eating the same type of breakfast for about, I believe 4 or 5 years. And I still look forward to it every night when I go to sleep, like literally. So it's totally not a problem for me to wake up and eat breakfast because I really freaking love it. Anyway, here is my lean bulking breakfast. It's definitely not that different from my usual cutting breakfast, but the amounts and some of the ingredients are a little bit different. So let's dive in. I have my bowl of cream of wheat with 100 grams of cream of wheat. Now, here in the Netherlands we call it Brinta, but it's basically, let me see, the same as oats if you look at the macros, but it's a different consistency, and it pretty much fills me up a little bit better than oats for some reason, so I like to stick to this one. Then I added in 30 grams of whey protein, 20 grams of cacao powder, which is the raw kind of cacao powder. This one right here from the brand Kruger. Now, this is not your Nesquik kind of cacao powder that's actually very sweet, but this is very pure. It actually tastes quite bitter if you just take it on its own, but mixed in with the whey protein, it actually gives it more of a chocolatey taste, which is something that I really like. And then I mixed that in with hot water, as you could see. And then I added in 2 bananas, which came down to around 215 grams of bananas. Added in 20 grams of peanut butter. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a long while, this is something new, but I've been trying to get some fats in earlier on in the day, simply because fat increases your satiety levels. So it basically means that if you eat more fat or higher fat pretty early on in the day, at least for me personally, I noticed that I have a full feeling for longer, so that I don't get hungry within like 2 or 3 hours after my first meal. So I added in a scoop or just 20 grams of some peanut butter, added in a little bit of liquid sweetener, which is this one right here, and some Himalayan salt. Now, adding in salt to your oats basically enhances the flavor of everything that you put in it. So it enhances the flavor of my chocolate whey and the cacao powder. And it's actually very important to get in some sodium as well. Now, a lot of people might fear sodium because it'll make you hold water, or it's just simply bad for you or whatever. But Himalayan salt contains a lot of electrolytes that are very important to keep your muscle cells hydrated. And especially if you work out earlier on in the day, say in like the early afternoon or in the morning even, what you'll often tend to notice, and I experienced this a lot myself, is you get flat very easily. So I highly recommend you to actually experiment with just adding some sea salt or some Himalayan salt or salt in general to the first meal of the day, so your breakfast, and that will greatly improve the chance of getting a pump early in the morning, so that your muscles feel more hydrated and actually feel better while working out, since sodium increases your blood pressure, which means that more blood will flow through the muscles, which pretty logically will increase the pump that you get during a workout. So that is the bowl of cream of wheat. Then I have my sandwich with 30 grams of Nutella, the legendary Nutella sandwich, my morning coffee, and some water to get hydrated. Now I personally like to get in at least around 500 milliliters up to a liter of water upon waking up, since if you've been sleeping for 7 or 8 hours, you're pretty much in a dehydrated state. And since I work out pretty early in the day, I like to get a lot of water in my system, rehydrate my body, and allow all the food that I'm eating right here to process quickly, efficiently, so that I feel good and energized during my workout. And I almost forgot the kiwi. I know you're probably thinking like, why the hell did he just eat that kiwi peel? But there's actually the most amount of fiber in the peel of the kiwi, and trust me when I say that it actually doesn't even taste that bad. You might think like the hairs are pretty freaking disgusting, but you don't even actually taste them. So give it a shot, and if you do, tag me in your story on Instagram, hashtag #TeamEatThePeel, and join the movement. Alright guys, it is actually time to get another meal in. It's currently 12:15 p.m. so it's a couple of hours after my first meal, which I had at around, what was it, 9:30 or something. So ideally I like to get in 2 meals before I actually head to the gym and do my workout for the day. Now it can be different from day to day. Sometimes I decide to work out after my first meal, and sometimes I like to get in 2 meals to actually, you know, get some more fuel in my system for the workout. So it all depends on my planning for the day and however many meals I prefer to get in before my workout. So today I'm going for 2 meals, so I'm going to be making my second meal of the day. Just got done cooking. Time for the second meal of the day. Alright, so this is finally something different than my usual full day of eatings, whether I'm bulking or cutting. What I have here are 3 whole eggs scrambled on top of 2 slices of whole wheat bread, 250 grams of quark with 150 grams of mixed frozen berries, and then I have 25 grams of dates thrown in there, and then I have 1 slice of 0 sugar gingerbread, which comes down to around 13 grams of carbs, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course I have another coffee and some water to stay hydrated. Now it's a bit of a weird mix, but I like to mix in a faster digesting protein with a slower digesting protein. Since I'm going to be working out after this meal, and my workouts tend to be pretty long, I'm talking 2 hours up to 2.5 hours. I like to have a slower digesting protein from the quark, which will be sitting in my system for a longer period of time, and a faster digesting protein from the eggs, so that it will hit my system a lot faster, which will allow me to actually have those nutrients ready once I'm actually working out. The same goes for the carbs. I have some fruit sources, some dried fruit and some fresh fruit, well, frozen fruit, but you know what I mean, and some bread, which are also a mix of faster digesting carbs from the fruits and slower digesting carbs from the bread, so that I have a more constant energy flow throughout the workout and don't really crash that hard. So I'm going to be devouring this meal and then head to the gym. Just got back from the gym, and as you can see, I was cooking up something very delicious. Now, since I still live at home, I don't always cook my own meals, so my normal kind of dinner meals always kind of roulette between either white potatoes with chicken and some vegetables, or if I cook myself, because I really love it, basmati rice, some meat and some vegetables. So what I did was I had 100 grams of uncooked basmati rice, so I always weigh it uncooked, which is a little bit more accurate. 1 piece of chicken breast, which usually comes down to 160 grams. Then I put some green beans in here and some corn. Now, what I personally always like to do is add some sea salt or some Himalayan salt, because what I previously mentioned in the video, electrolytes and sodium are necessary in order to get your muscles nice and hydrated, allowing for better pumps. And I'm still pretty pumped right now. Had a killer workout, man. And then what I added in is some 5% fat mayonnaise, which is something that I've been adding to my meals as of late. It tastes pretty much exactly the same as normal mayonnaise, but like 1/10 of the calories. And some more sriracha, because in case you guys didn't know, I really like spicy food. So I'm going to be enjoying this meal right now, and then I have one more meal left in order to hit my macros for the day. If you don't think this looks freaking delicious, yeah, this is a pretty hefty carb meal for the last meal of the day, but again, that is the beauty of just tracking your macros. As long as you're hitting your numbers for the day, you'll be fine, man. You're hitting your goals, you're hitting your targets, you're going to be making progress. So I really love to just have some carbs left over so that I can fuel up after my workout and feel the carbs actually hit my system, especially after a hard ass workout. So what I have right here is 500 grams of quark with 250 grams of mixed frozen berries and just a splash of cacao powder mixed in there. I'm a very basic guy. If I have a meal that I really personally like to eat, I will eat it a lot and very often. So if I have certain macronutrients left over, so for example protein and carbs, I will have something that I personally really enjoy eating. And of course I make an effort to eat enough whole foods. Quark is a whole food, but it can be very repetitive if I look at it from a different perspective. But again, this is something that I personally really like to do, like to eat, so it makes life easier, man. Don't make it too hard on yourself. So that's the bowl of gains right here. Also added some sweetener because quark isn't really that tasty. Then I have 3 pieces of 0 sugar gingerbread, as you can see. Very good carb source, also very high in fiber. And then I have, let me see, 4 plain rice cakes that I'm going to be dipping into the quark to make it more tasty. And that's pretty much it for the full day of eating. So like I said, I'm a very simple guy when it comes to my meals. I have foods that I personally really enjoy eating, so I eat a lot of them, and it allows me to hit my macronutrients and keep moving forward towards my goal of gaining some lean muscle mass during this off season and slash lean bulk. Alright, and that's all for this video, guys. I sincerely hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash the like button because it really helps out the channel grow. Comment down below and subscribe to the channel for so much more content coming really soon. I'm out, guys, and peace out. See you in the next one.